Hello everyone, and welcome to Jumperman Tech, where we specialize in HVAC. We do everything DIY, and today we have a service call for a water source heat pump. Thank you to everyone tuning into Jumperman Tech. Today we have a service call for a water source heat pump. This is made by Omega. We see inside here we have a red light that's going to be indicating an error code. Let's get the cover off and see what's going on. So this is a in the wall water source heat pump, and that is commonly found in high-rise buildings where you have windows that look like this from floor to ceiling, because we cannot have an air-cooled system in the window because the window is everything here. So it's in the wall, and the condenser needs to reject heat somehow, so instead of air they use water. This unit is currently set to heat. It is set to 80 degrees. It's 61 degrees inside. Definitely cold. Brayburn thermostat. Super ugly color. Took off this little panel here, and here we have the control panel. Got a couple items here, and if we look, there's the light blinking, and underneath it says LPS, and LPS stands for low pressure sensor. So this machine shut off on low pressure. It's hard to capture it with the photo, but you see it right there. LPS over there. There's a little LED light above it flashing red. That thing is done. One thing I noticed with these units, I'm actually in this building a lot, it's just I don't really record in here as this is a residential setting. If we look over here on the left side, we have some dip switches. I've noticed somebody in some of these apartments left these units in test mode. If you look at the bottom dip switch, it's pushed to the left, which means that it's on. For some reason this thing is in test mode, and I notice these things trip a lot because in the heat mode I noticed that the pressure starts off a bit low, then it builds back up, but when it's in test mode, it doesn't give it that chance to build back up. It cuts off right away. Even if the pressure is okay, it just takes some time to build up. So let's check out to see what's going on. I just took off this little panel here. There's 4 screws. Here is the unit. You see those water hoses right there? There you go. That's what's cooling off the condenser. Pretty cool little package unit. Anyways, to reset it, you would kill the power and turn it back on. But let's get some digital gauges on there. I have the probe, so we have super minimal refrigerant loss, and let's see what's going on. This unit looks fairly new actually compared to the others, so let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this plug out, pull this plug out, and like that, pull this out a bit. Let's see which ones I can reach. Got a couple 1/4-inch screws. Let's see. Got another one back there. I'm gonna take off the screws and take off this panel up top. Let me see if I push that back a little. I can get in there. And once we get that off, we can get the gauges on there. Okay. This one's good because the coil here, right, is lower than this panel. The other ones are a real pain. I'm gonna take this off. Okay. Another thing is someone came in here and put all these aftermarket parts, and I don't know, somehow they're whacking out the boards a lot of times. I don't know if you see my other videos, the low pressure sensors. Let me see, put my hand in here. Wow, this one's actually there, but some guy's been putting fuses. Instead of a low pressure sensor, he put fuses, and the thing is tripping on low pressure. So what does that tell me? There's nothing there to sense pressure. How can it be? And the fuse is actually good. So these boards are just whacking out. There's no low pressure temperature sensors or anything like that in this equipment. So you already know the deal. I got my field piece probes here, and like that, there's very minimal loss. I could put this in with the cover because that will affect the pressure in this unit, and like that we can test this properly. So let's get this in there and test it out. All right, I got it set up. 180 standing pressure. It's a bit low, but let's see. Let's put these plugs back in. It is cold in here too. That will affect the standing pressure. Let's put this back in place. Put that cover back on. Okay, and we're gonna reset this unit. We're gonna put it to heat, check the pressures, see what's going on. I'm telling you, it's gotta be that board. All right, so the unit started 178 back pressure with a 361 head pressure. I mean, for the fact this thing even shut down on low pressure is absurd. That board's gotta be faulty, because you might think it could be the pressure control shutting the machine down prematurely, and it could possibly be so, but I've seen units without pressure controls, and the only thing that can shut it down is the board. So what I do in this case is I change the low pressure control along with the high pressure control with the control board. There's no way this machine could shut down on low pressure. If anything, the back pressure is a bit high, and sometimes I notice that they crossed up these water hoses. I wonder how that would affect the pressure, but we got heat coming out of here. This thing should not shut down on low pressure. It won't shut down on high pressure either. So for the low pressure on these units, they shut down at 75 pounds, and the head pressure shuts off at 600. This uses refrigerant 410A. I'm just curious, what would it be like if I reversed the water hoses? Okay, so there's two water lines, one here and one there. This water line goes over here, which is gonna be our inlet. How about we put this hose, basically swap the hoses. This connection is gonna go to this connection, and this connection is gonna go to this one. So I'm gonna close the water valves, right? Close the water valves. Now we can disconnect these and swap them. Got two wrenches here, one to hold back, right there. Gonna loosen this one up. Loosen up this connection. I'm gonna swap it and check pressure again to see. A little bit of water is gonna come out of here, and I let it drip out on the side of the unit because there is a drain pan underneath. So let's swap these hoses. Okay, so that hose that was there, let's swap it here and see what difference that makes. It still heats, but I want to see how would that affect the pressure. All right, do that. Hold back and tighten it down. All right, the pressure is interestingly almost about the same. I've seen it change dramatically in other apartments, but between those two water lines, I'd say the other way is correct. But you know what? This unit actually very well might be overcharged. I don't have my probes on here to read superheat and subcoolant, but there's a good chance this is overcharged. High head and a bit of a high back. No, high back pressure and a bit of a high head. Yeah. Somebody probably saw this thing is running on low pressure sensor, this and that. They try to just like add a refrigerant to it or something. I've seen so many hack jobs here. It's freaking insane. I'm gonna switch the hoses back, but I need a new board and new pressure controls, and I gotta talk to management regarding, you know, recovering the refrigerant and weighing in the proper charge. To show something here, 16 ounces of R410A. So I'd be curious to see if this is overcharged. There's a good chance it is, because nothing is right in this building. But let's go ahead with the common repair that I do. Some reason I did so many hack jobs, so many pressure sensors that are gone. I don't know, maybe he whacked out these boards, who knows, or they're just starting to go. But we're gonna change the low pressure, high pressure along with our control board. We're also gonna put the dip switches in the correct settings. And while we pull the machine out, we clean out the condensate pan and clear the drain. So We've done this quite a handful of times. I think I've done already like 30 units like this and not one callback. We got Christian over here in the other room. He's about to change the pressure controls here. We already cleared the drain. Everything's nice and clean, and pretty much same repair on this unit. Unreal. Okay, the other way was definitely the right. This is way too high, but it's high even on the other side. It is what it is. Anyways, let's shut this down and start the repairs. Took off this cover again. There's like a little clip, press it, pull it down because that comes with the unit. All right, it stays. Close the water valves, disconnect the two water lines, and we can pull it out. All right, loosen them out. Let's pull these out. Get these lines out of here. All right, let's make sure these hoses out of the way. Pull.
Yep.
Bring it down.
Yep.
Okay, and that's that. Let's put those back in there. All right, continue what you're doing, man. I'm gonna get going here. Now I'm gonna take off all of these panels so I can properly access our low pressure and high pressure controls. Okay, here we go. Here's the little unit here. Low pressure, high pressure. This is original, this is aftermarket. Let's restore this unit back to its former glory with original parts, new parts, and operational parts. All right, here's the high pressure. Cutting it out. Low pressure. Cutting it out. Guys, make sure you know which wires go where. Fortunately, but unfortunately, I already know by color already. Black and white is going to be my high pressure. And strip that. Strip that. Okay. And then our green and blue here is going to be my low pressure. Have that set up. That's good to go. These do have shredder valves underneath them, so we could just spin these off. I'm gonna hold back with one wrench and loosen up the other. I'm gonna do this quick because a little bit of gas will escape. I'm gonna be using Nylock blue gasket and thread sealant on the threads here. Well, above the thread, right on the rim here. So we create like a little gasket on top of here, so we have a nice connection, and this will help ensure there's no leaks. I'm gonna put some on each end. Okay, then I'll use my finger and go across. Make sure we have some sort of seal across both, and then we can put in our new controls. Read the ratings on the controls and install them. So I'm going to spin that on. Make sure this is ready for the right size because we might lose a little bit of refrigerant. That's not really leaking out. There you go. Now we can hold back and give in and tighten it up to its full potential. Great. There's the pressure control. I put on two solderless connectors on there. Two female connectors. Crimped it on. This one already has wires sticking out of it, so I just wire out of them properly. Next, what you want to do, I already done this, but you want to check with your threads and use a leak detector. Make sure that your new connection isn't leaking. So we're just going to spray that on there. Same with this one. And go wrap it around. If your finger there or something might help build up pressure. We're just going to watch it, and we want to ensure that there's no leaks here. Alright, so this unit definitely has more problems. Looking here, what's missing? No filter dryer. These units come with filter dryers, but I noticed some of them were taken out. So if they took out the filter dryer, maybe he thought their things were tripping. He was like, maybe there's a restriction or something. I don't know, but he got rid of the filter dryer. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, this whole place is hacked up. Fuses for pressure controls, and the filter dryer is missing. I'll show you a picture on another unit where it's supposed to be. It should be right in here, right on your liquid line. There's your TXV. So it should be on the liquid line feeding the TXV. That's gone. No wonder there's strange pressures. And yeah, what can you say? If he did stuff like this, who's to say he even weighed in the charge properly? I don't trust that charge. Something is wrong. This unit has other issues, but let's just try to get it going for now. But yep, there's your problem. This whole unit's messed up, man. Covers are all back on. Now, let's clean up this dirty drain. We're gonna flush it out with nitrogen and clean the pan. Everything is nice and clean, and we can see that the water is in fact draining. All right, pan's clean, pressure controls are in, units put together, threw that in there, connected the water lines, everything's open, making sure there's no leaks. Plug these two things back in, and we're gonna change the board. Looks good. Here's the control board. Here's a new one. It's slightly different. It does have some plugins, but this connection and this connection here, you see how you're gonna have to strip the wire and put that in there and make sure you got the right wires. And over here we have some more dip switch settings and a whole lot more LEDs, so we're gonna have to set that properly. And yeah, let's go ahead, swap this thing out, clean up this area. You can see it's a bit dirty in there. Cut a bunch of wires, pull out a bunch of plugs, have to soften them out. Yeah, it's a little bit different, but let's set up accordingly. And yeah, that's that. And we're in. Look at that. Nice connections. Took a little while to figure this out. It's going to be dependent on the kind of system you have. But like over there, it says that there should be red over here, but I put black and white with the red stripe because you got to look on top what it stands for. On top it says HP, but the colors don't match. So you really got to see what's going on. And the dip switch settings are going to be pretty much the same as it was before, aside from having it on test mode. But you want to confirm you even have the right dip switch settings, because clearly in this place, who would even think if you need to check if, you know, there's a car fuse instead of a low pressure control, or a missing filter dryer, or the wrong settings on the board. I mean, it's just it's a disaster. Whoever they had here last, you know, I'm sorry the dude got fired and stuff like that, but he just wasn't doing a good job, and you know, he just made things worse. Look at this stuff. This whole building is in shambles. It's a 5-year-old building. You know, these people are paying crazy rent to live here and they don't have heating or cooling. And it's not because the machine is completely junk, but because it was worked on by the wrong person. It's just unfortunate for them, but fortunate for me, because I'm going to pay off my mortgage with this building. Oh man. All right, got the cover on. Luckily there's a nice clean filter. Got some LED lights on the board. Status is blinking, so it's waiting to start. There's a timer on the board, and let's see what happens. But that looks nice. Everything's nice and clean. As you can see, there's 62 degrees in the space right now. It's set to heat. Got a thermometer in the grill. Let's wait and see what happens. All right, room temperature has come up to 70. We got heat coming out. Let me see what kind of temperature we got here. I got 97 degrees at the moment. It will bring up the temperature in this room. It ain't the best because this unit's hacked, but the unit's running and it's heating. And that's a beautiful thing right there. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But yeah, that's just the story here. A lot of these units trip on low pressure, and they don't even have pressure switches, or some of them they have pressures there. Most of them are actually good. It's just these units have all been tampered with, and it's just an unfortunate story. But as far as here, we're gonna let it run. There's no filter dryer in here. Got some strange pressures, but that all, you know, makes sense as to why. but it is what it is. And yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. If anyone found this video interesting or helpful, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe as I come out with new videos every week. And I'll catch you all next time.